Hello, and welcome to part 5 of the 6-part series about changing a nation. In Chronicles it says, "If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sins, and I will heal their land." So, this part is talking about seeking God's face. If they will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, he says. What is seeking God's face? It's a tough one. People think it's intense prayer or whatever. But really, it ties into the original sin and the fall of man in the garden, where we ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and so now we've got a good and bad meter built into the inside of us, and so we really don't have to ask God what he thinks. We know if something's right or wrong, or we think we know, because it's built in, chemically induced, or whatever you like to think of that garden episode. But it's true that we all have a conscience that can be modified and seared or whatever. But we can pray all we like, but if we keep living our life out of our own heads and out of our own concepts, then we're not going to see any change. As I've said before many times, you don't get God's results by doing things man's way. And you don't get different results by doing the same thing you've been doing for years. What a fool just keeps doing the same thing and expecting different results. You know, we've all heard those sayings. So, seeking his face is where, instead of just taking what we believe or whatever, we actually say, God, what do you have to say about this subject? And we get into the Word of God. And because it says that, you know, someone who hears the Word of God and doesn't do it is like a man who's looked in the mirror and has turned away and forgotten what he looks like. And so it says that as we look into the Word of God, it shows us how we are, but it also says that Jesus is the Word. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory of the only begotten Son of God. And and so Jesus is the Word of God. So as we go into the Word of God, we start seeking his face. So seek his face. What does that mean? It says no one's seen God at any time. You know, Moses saw his butt. You know, that was pretty impressive. Any more than that, he would have died, it says. So why does the Bible say to seek his face if, like it says that Job saw God face to face, but he was in this whirlwind and he didn't actually see his face. They were just relating directly, but there was still a screen between them to protect him. And so when it talks about seeking God's face, what is it saying? Basically, we're looking to see what he has to say about the situation. We're involving him in terms of leadership. We're submitting under him, and we're wanting to know what his will is in the situation rather than just winging it. So it's you pray and you seek his face. And then next time we're going to look at the final step that makes it all come together.